Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? If you ever questioned it before, there is no longer a doubt that when it comes to Latino fighters, the toughest, the boldest, the bravest, the ones that have the biggest hearts, the ones that fear no man in the ring, wants all the smoke, the biggest warriors when it comes to the Latinos are the Dominican boxers today. Hands down, it's not even up for debate. Have you guys even noticed that almost every dangerous, undefeated Black American fighter that is being avoided by Mexican boxers today are at the same time being called out by the Dominican boxers? Right now, Top Rank and even the WBC, they're having a hard time getting Shakur Stevenson an opponent to put him in a title eliminator bout. As you guys can see right here on this graphic, these are the WBC rankings. You see Lomachenko is ranked number 1. That's the reason why he's fighting against Devin Haney. And you see Isaac Cruz is ranked number 2. Shakur is at number 3. William Zepeda is at number 4. The WBC has already offered both Isaac Cruz and William Zepeda a fight against Shakur Stevenson, and they have both turned the fight down. Now, George Kambosos, he turned it down as well, but it's more understandable George Kambosos turns it down because he just came off of an L. Meanwhile, when it comes to William Zepeda, he just came off of the biggest win of his career. And when it comes to Isaac Cruz, he has a string of wins since his loss to Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, that graphic I just showed you guys with the rankings, that was actually the graphic that Shakur Stevenson, he just recently showed on Instagram or one of his social media accounts. And he actually said, quote, "Look, we going down the list to be mandatory for the WBC belt. 3 top fighters said no so far. Now we going down to see who's next in line. It's the guy Yoshino who stopped Nakatani. He's up next. If he says no, then it's Ortiz. But let's see who decides to take the challenge." End quote. There's actually already someone who has taken the challenge, and it's the Dominican fighter Edwin dos Santos, the man that just stopped one of the biggest prospects in the sport at the time, Rayo Valenzuela. But you know what? Santos is not the only fighter that has been aggressively calling out Shakur Stevenson. There was another Dominican fighter at 130 that was also calling out Shakur Stevenson, and that was Hector Garcia, who's now fighting Gervonta Tank Davis next. Before Hector decided to move up to 135 and fight Gervonta Tank Davis, he was the champion at 130, and he wanted to unify and fight for undisputed against Shakur Stevenson, or at least fight for the unified belts. But Shakur Stevenson could no longer make the weight at 130. In fact, he didn't even make weight for his last fight at 130, so he obviously moved up to 135, and so did Hector Garcia. So while all of these other fighters are avoiding Shakur Stevenson like a virus, the Dominican fighters are the only ones that truly want the smoke. Edwin Santos has been on a rampage on social media, aggressively, continuously calling out Shakur Stevenson, damn near even calling him out his name. In fact, not too long ago, Santos, he sent a direct message to Shakur Stevenson and Isaac Cruz, tagging them both, and he said, "Shakur, I can beat you easy, and you know me. Isaac Cruz is easy work." And more recently, Santos, he put this video up that was directed towards Shakur Stevenson.
He was real scary. He was real scary. I really was being a little bit careful, because at the end of the day, you got to realize he got power too. So I had to being a little bit careful. He was real scary. He got power. He was real scary.
Edwin La Granada de los Santos.
Now, first off, I believe that was Shakur Stevenson talking about the Jeremiah Nakatilia fight. Now, Shakur Stevenson had already praised Jeremiah as the hardest puncher that he's ever faced as a pro. So it's not that much of a surprise when he says that he really was respecting his power. It's called being on alert. That's what you're supposed to do when you're in there with someone who has the most dangerous hands. Gervonta Tank Davis, he said something similar when it came to Rolly Romero. He said in a recent interview, he said, I was a little bit more cautious in that fight because Rolly Romero was really strong. But Santos is doing whatever he can to get a fight with Shakur Stevenson. So he took advantage of Shakur Stevenson using the word scary. Okay, so before it was reported that the WBC ordered Shakur Stevenson to fight Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Santos people, they came out, did an interview, and actually revealed that they were in negotiations with Isaac Pitbull Cruz. But from the way Santos is talking right now, it sounds like Isaac Cruz turned down the fight. Now, Santos, he also put this post up, a poster of him, Shakur, and Isaac Cruz. And a translation of what he said was, y'all make up y'all mind because I'm ready for whoever. You too, Shakur and Isaac Cruz. Are y'all afraid or what? Now, Shakur, he did respond to Santos, but he was pretty dismissive when he did. He said, I will smoke that bum, but I'm next in line for Devin and Loma, and he's ranked number 11. The dudes I want to fight are number 2 and number 4. I have to fight one of those guys to get my title shot. Tell that bum to keep working his way up so I could be lined up to ice that MF. Well, let me just start by saying this. Shakur Stevenson going after the guys that are the highest ranked in the division, it makes all the sense in the world. But the problem is Shakur keeps going down the line of ranked fighters that don't want to fight him. Shakur started at number 2 on that list, which was Isaac Cruz. Now William Zepeda turns down the fight. George Kambosos turned down the fight. Now he's at number 6 with Yoshino. The WBC, they have Santos ranked at number 11. But when you look at all these higher ranked fighters that are turning down the Shakur Stevenson fight, it ain't going to be too long before Shakur Stevenson is going to be down to number 11 on that list, which is Edwin Santos. And honestly, if Shakur is not fighting Isaac Cruz or William Zepeda, that's the fight that actually makes the most sense. Jermaine Ortiz just came off of a loss. George Kambosos just came off of a loss. And Edwin Santos just came off of the biggest win of his career. One of the biggest wins of the year. That's the fight that makes the most sense. And I'm saying it's the fight that makes the most sense if Shakur cannot get the main 2 guys that he wants, which is, like he said, the number 2 guy and the number 4 guy, which is Isaac Cruz and William Zepeda. Now, Jermaine Ortiz, that would be a good fight as well. I mean, just to get a little bit of a comparison to see how Shakur does against Ortiz, who actually arguably beat Lomachenko. So there's no doubt, if Shakur Stevenson, after just moving up in weight, gets in there with Jermaine Ortiz and completely dominates him, makes it look very easy, something Loma could not do, that would be extremely impressive. But I still believe, regardless of where Santos is ranked, that's the biggest fight, underneath Isaac Cruz and William Zepeda. Speaking of being ranked, Shakur Stevenson actually mentioned another fighter's name that he said he would be interested in fighting, and that was Jojo Diaz. Shakur, he was responding to someone on Twitter, and he said, Jojo, my guy, but we could get busy too. And Jojo, he actually responded and said, yes, sir, all respect, champ. Let's make it happen. Now, not only is Jojo Diaz coming off of 2 losses back-to-back, he's also ranked behind Santos at number 12. So clearly, Edwin Santos is a much, much better option. So regardless if the fight happens now or it happens later, I do believe that fight is definitely going to happen when it comes to Shakur versus Santos. But there's a very good chance that Ortiz, he may actually end up taking the fight, because he did recently come out and he said something like, if there's anybody that can beat Shakur, it's me. So it sounds like he may be interested. We should see shortly. Somebody's got to accept the fight eventually. Only thing we know for sure is there is one guy who has wanted it since day one, and that is Edwin Santos. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, the fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com.
Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.